Meet Susan. At 62, she found herself standing before her wardrobe, surrounded by garments she once adored. But a shift had occurred. The patterns that previously felt vibrant and self-expressive now seemed to overwhelm her. "Have I altered?" she mused. "Or has my style simply failed to mature alongside me?" Similar to many women beyond their 50s, Susan recognized that her clothing collection no longer mirrored her authentic self. It wasn't a mandate to forsake prints entirely, but rather an opportune moment to select designs that enhanced her sophistication, instead of vying for attention with it. Current American fashion commentary for mature women often emphasizes quiet luxury and the power of personal expression through well-chosen, often subtle patterns that speak to timeless elegance rather than fleeting trends. Today, we embark on that identical exploration with you. We will identify 12 print categories that might be diminishing your style and, more crucially, introduce the contemporary, becoming alternatives that will assist you in looking and feeling luminous, self-assured, and genuinely you. Because past 50, style isn't about pursuing fads. It's about articulating your identity with poise, insight, and audacious self-esteem. Let us commence. 1. Large, assertive florals. Have you ever donned a lovely dress adorned with enormous blossoming flowers only to feel as though the garment was wearing you? For numerous women over 50, sizable, bold florals, while lively and cheerful, can inadvertently project an image contrary to elegance. These oversized motifs, particularly when positioned across the bust, hips, or on full-bodied dresses, have a tendency to dominate one's physique. Instead of accentuating your attributes, they divert focus from your face, your posture, and your unique character. And here is the unvarnished truth. It's not that florals are inherently unsuitable. Far from it. But as we mature, we are entitled to prints that uplift us, not engulf us. Allow me to illustrate. Envision yourself before a mirror, attired in a dress covered in massive crimson roses and substantial green leaves. The print commands attention. Your silhouette becomes indistinct. Your vitality feels suppressed, not invigorated. Does this resonate? This impact is not merely optical. It's visceral. Many women convey feeling dowdy or outmoded in bold florals, even if the garment's cut is flattering. That is because proportion is paramount, and so is the arrangement of the print. So, what is the recommended alternative? Smaller, more refined floral patterns are your clandestine advantage. These gentle designs, consider tiny blossoms, discreetly spaced petals, or watercolor-esque botanicals, engender a feeling of fluidity and gentleness. They attract the gaze in a graceful manner, augmenting your femininity without monopolizing the visual narrative. Recent trend forecasts for 2025 highlight a move towards digital florals, with hyperrealism or faded beauty, featuring delicate, vintage-inspired pastel blooms, which can be sophisticated options if the scale is managed. Opt for prints set against subdued backdrops such as navy, soft gray, taupe, or blush. These hues provide contrast without severity. Seek balanced spacing between floral elements rather than dense clusters that create visual disarray. And a favorite styling technique? Combine a delicate floral blouse with tailored neutral trousers, white, beige, or a soft khaki, and complete the ensemble with understated gold or pearl jewelry. You will instantly feel more refined, and the print will complement you, not contend with you. Because at this juncture in life, fashion is not about receding into the periphery. It's about allowing your essence to take precedence and selecting prints that mirror that serene, confident strength. So the next occasion you encounter that dress with the gigantic sunflowers, take a moment. Inquire of yourself, is this print celebrating me, or is it eclipsing me? You merit prints that murmur elegance, not vociferate over your innate beauty. Too loud geometric patterns. This is when style morphs into an unsolicited mathematics problem. Have you ever tried on a shirt with pronounced zigzags or color blocks, so audacious it felt like you were stepping into a complex puzzle? That encapsulates the difficulty with conspicuous geometric prints. While they might appear avant-garde on the hanger, once worn, those severe angles and jarring color segments frequently work against your body's inherent contours. Instead of refining your silhouette, they dissect it, leading to visual discord, especially around the midriff and hips. As we advance in age, our style ought to bolster our softness, not challenge it. Fashion authorities concur. Prints characterized by extreme symmetry or aggressive shapes tend to draw focus away from the face and towards areas we might prefer not to accentuate. When coupled with high-contrast shades like black and red or cobalt and white, the impact can feel overpowering, as if the attire is wearing you. So, what is the superior choice? Geometric designs need not be loud to be impactful. Seek out prints that incorporate gentle curves, flowing lines, or artistic asymmetry. Consider subtle diamond shapes, cascading arcs, or even tone-on-tone hexagons in earthy palettes. Soft taupe, blush, slate gray. These patterns foster movement, not visual friction. They guide the observer's eye instead of clamoring for notice. Trend reports for 2025 note the return of grids and colorful stripes, which can be sophisticated if chosen in refined colorways and scales, aligning with a more modern take on geometrics. When you don balanced geometry, the pattern transforms into an extension of your grace, not a detraction from it. Bear in mind, elegance is not about being plain. It's about discerning what enhances your beauty and what diminishes it. 3 busy abstract prints. This is when artistry is better suited to a canvas than your torso. Abstract prints can be expressive, spirited, even evocative. However, when the design devolves into chaos, colors clashing, lines darting in every direction, shapes overlapping without any discernible rhythm, it ceases to be creative and becomes bewildering. Many cluttered abstract prints lack a focal point, a place for the eye to settle. For women over 50, this type of visual clamor can readily overwhelm your natural composure. Instead of appearing polished, the outfit registers as disjointed, particularly in motion or under bright illumination. The outcome? A look that feels agitated, unfocused, even unintentionally untidy. But there exists a method to embrace abstract allure without foregoing sophistication. Opt for structured abstracts, patterns that still honor movement but with deliberate direction. Envision flowing watercolor-inspired strokes, monochrome line work, or soft, impressionistic textures in coordinated color schemes like dusty rose, sage green, or navy. These types of prints permit your personality to communicate first, not the pattern. And here's a styling suggestion. Allow structured abstracts to be the centerpiece by pairing them with solid neutrals. A soft blouse featuring graceful brushstroke motifs becomes even more elegant when matched with cream trousers or a simple blazer. Regarding prints, you need not mute your voice. You simply want to ensure you're not vying with your garments to be perceived. 4. Oversized animal prints. This is when style roars with excessive volume. Animal prints have long symbolized boldness and self-assurance, and truth be told, they can be quite striking. But herein lies the difficulty. When these prints become excessively large or loud, they don't merely make a fashion statement. They monopolize the entire narrative. Picture yourself in a full-length leopard coat or a zebra print jumpsuit. It doesn't just attract attention. It engulfs your silhouette, nullifies your softness, and frequently adds an unrequested visual heft. As we navigate our 50s and 60s with grace, style should be an extension of our identity, not a disguise that conceals us. The reality is large animal prints can conflict with that sense of serene elegance we strive so diligently to cultivate. They tend to dominate the attire and, in many instances, detract from your natural radiance. So, what is the alternative? Scale it down without diminishing your personality. Opt for smaller animal prints in a more refined color range. Consider beige, mocha, soft brown, or charcoal. These tones still provide texture and intrigue, but with an understated confidence. Interestingly, 2025 trend reports show a significant resurgence in animal prints, including leopard, tiger, and even cow prints, but the key for mature women is often in the application, perhaps as an accent. Even better, incorporate animal prints into your wardrobe strategically. A printed scarf with a neutral blouse, a belt over a monochrome dress, or a clutch with just a hint of snake pattern. These accents declare, "I know who I am," without excessive effort. And remember, sometimes less truly is more. A whisper of leopard on a silk scarf can feel far more luxurious than a full-blown tiger print blazer. Inquire of yourself, does this print highlight your elegance, or is it shouting over it? 5. High contrast black and white prints. This is when sharpness morphs into severity. Black and white. It's the quintessential fashion pairing, correct? Clean, classic, enduring. But here's a detail often overlooked. High contrast doesn't invariably equate to high style, particularly as we mature. Those stark delineations between black and white might have appeared chic in your 30s, but now they can be somewhat unforgiving. You see, as our skin matures, we experience a slight loss of that innate luminosity. Harsh black and white patterns don't reflect light, they absorb it. Consequently, any fine lines, shadows, or textural variations on your face become more pronounced. The result? You might appear more fatigued, more somber, even when you are not. But fret not, you don't have to relinquish the elegance of contrast. You merely need to soften it. Exchange the stark white for a warm ivory. Replace jet black with deep navy, charcoal, or even a rich espresso brown. These shades offer contrast, but in a manner that complements your complexion rather than clashing with it. And here's a tip. If you appreciate patterns, try prints that utilize these gentler contrasts against a soft background. Consider navy polka dots on cream, or subtle pinstripes in mocha and beige. These combinations uplift your features instead of weighing them down. Fashion should illuminate your face, not cast shadows upon it. And selecting the appropriate contrast is one of the simplest methods to bring that inner light forward. So, the next time you consider that black and white blouse, pause. Try holding it beside your face, then try a navy and cream one. Which version appears more vibrant, more serene, more authentically you? Let's dress to brighten, not to battle. 6. Neon or highly saturated prints. This is when color overwhelms character. Let's discuss color, not just the hues you wear, but how they wear you. Neon pink, electric green, fiery orange. You've observed these shades in fashion publications and on younger social media figures. And perhaps, just perhaps, you've pondered, should I attempt it too? Here's the unvarnished truth. Color is potent, and as we age, it becomes even more crucial to select colors that enhance our natural radiance, not vie with it. Neon and intensely saturated shades are stimulating, undoubtedly, but they can also be harsh, especially against mature skin. Why is this? Because as we age, our skin's undertones shift. We lose some of that inherent vibrancy. Potent neon tones can clash with this transformation, causing our skin to appear lackluster, uneven, or even drawing attention to fine lines we'd prefer to soften. Instead of attracting notice for undesirable reasons, let's pivot to tones that lift and illuminate. What works splendidly? Try soft pastels like dusty rose, lavender, or powder blue. These provide a gentle brightness without harshness. If you adore bold color, opt for rich jewel tones such as emerald, sapphire, or deep ruby. These shades are saturated yet elegant, and they pair beautifully with silver hair, soft brows, and the grace that only accompanies time. Here's a brief style experiment. Hold a neon scarf near your face. Then try one in deep plum or soft peach. You'll perceive the difference instantaneously, not just in your appearance, but in your emotional response. Because genuine style isn't about clamoring for attention. It's about reflecting the beauty that is already present. 7. Mismatched multicolor prints. This is when an excess is simply too much. Have you ever glanced at a blouse and thought, "Wow, that's lively," only to put it on and feel utterly inundated? That is the pitfall of discordant multicolor prints. These patterns frequently combine 5, 6, occasionally even 10 colors, all contending for prominence. The outcome? Utter chaos. Instead of elevating your appearance, they distract the eye, fragment your silhouette, and divert attention from your face, your figure, and your overall presence. Fashion should accentuate you, not submerge you in a torrent of clashing hues. So, how do we rectify this? The solution is straightforward yet transformative. Adhere to harmony. Seek prints that employ 2 or 3 complementary colors, shades that resonate within the same visual vernacular. Consider navy, ivory, and sage, or soft coral, beige, and gold. These palettes soothe the eye, establish cohesion, and permit your natural features to radiate. Here's a stylist's insight. When you're in the dressing room, don't merely ask, "Do I like this print?" Inquire, "Do I still command attention when I wear this?" Even better, try combining a monochromatic print with textured accessories. A pair of earrings with a natural stone, a linen handbag, a scarf with just one accent color. This approach introduces intrigue without creating an overload. Remember, you don't require a rainbow to shine. Sometimes, elegance resides in restraint, in selecting fewer colors, more judiciously placed. And when you achieve that, that's when you enter a room and capture attention. Not because your attire shouts, but because it whispers style with quiet confidence. 8. Overly dark, heavy prints. This is when elegance transmutes into excess. Dark colors can often feel like a sartorial safety net. They are simple to coordinate, frequently have a slimming effect, and for many years, we were informed they exude greater elegance. But here is the unvarnished truth. Not all dark prints are flattering, especially as we mature. The issue isn't the color black per se, it's the manner in which dense, all-over dark patterns absorb light, thereby diminishing your natural radiance and rendering the overall ensemble severe. When dark florals or geometric prints are paired with deep backgrounds, think jet black, harsh charcoal, inky navy, they tend to dominate. And what becomes obscured? You, your skin tone, your expression, your grace. As we age, our skin naturally loses some of its chromatic contrast. Harsh prints can accentuate fine lines and dullness, even if your makeup is perfectly applied. The outcome? You may appear fatigued, even when you are not. So what is the remedy? Lighten the base. Opt for prints grounded in soft grays, muted blues, warm taupes, or gentle ivories. These colors reflect light back onto your face, creating an illusion of brightness and vitality. Suddenly, you don't appear as though you are concealing yourself behind your clothes. You look as if you are stepping forth from them with assurance. You don't have to forsake dark prints entirely, just be discerning. A floral blouse with a soft steel blue base and burgundy blossoms? Exquisite. A gray background with a refined paisley swirl? Perfectly timeless. Dark can be potent, but only when it elevates you, not when it weighs you down. 9. Cool toned pastels. Why soft isn't invariably safe. Pastels frequently seem like a natural selection for softening an appearance after 50. They are light, ethereal, and ostensibly gentle. But here's a fact many women do not recognize. Not all pastels are alike. There are cool-toned pastels, such as icy blue, lavender, mint, or pale gray, and warm-toned pastels, like peach, warm blush, and buttery ivory. If you select a pastel that doesn't harmonize with your skin's undertone, it can cause you to look washed out, pallid, or even unwell. Let's imagine you possess golden, warm undertones, and you wear a frosty lilac top. Instead of appearing radiant, your skin might look dull. Conversely, if your undertone is cool and you wear a pastel yellow or coral, your complexion might clash, and your skin could seem blotchy or tired. That is why comprehending your undertone is pivotal. If you're uncertain, attempt this simple test. Hold a piece of silver and gold jewelry against your face. Which one makes your skin appear more vibrant? If it's silver, you're likely cool-toned. If it's gold, warm-toned. And if both look splendid, you're neutral. Fortunate you. Once you ascertain your undertone, begin choosing pastels that align with it. Cool-toned women opt for powder blue, soft lilac, rose quartz, periwinkle. Warm-toned women embrace creamy peach, butter yellow, soft coral, or warm beige. The alteration may appear minor, but the impact is substantial. Suddenly, your complexion looks more even. Your eyes become more prominent, and your entire presence feels more uplifted. Soft colors should enhance your softness, not obliterate you. With the appropriate pastel, you don't recede into the background. You radiate from it. 10. Oversized polka dots. This is when playfulness becomes overpowering. Have you ever examined a dress and mused, "This is fun," only to try it on and ponder why it doesn't quite feel right? That's precisely what occurred with Barbara, age 64. She discovered a polka dot dress that evoked the 1960s, black with large white circles. It felt nostalgic. But when she wore it to a weekend garden party, the accolades didn't materialize. Instead, her friend gently remarked, "You look just like Minnie Mouse." Ouch! Here's the reason this occurs. Oversized polka dots frequently transgress the boundary from charming to cartoonish. While they appear lighthearted, their exaggerated dimensions can disrupt bodily proportions, draw attention to specific areas you might not wish to highlight, and, let's be candid, feel somewhat like a costume. However, this doesn't mean polka dots are entirely off limits. The secret lies in scale and contrast. Instead of large, bold dots, opt for medium or small dots in low-contrast color combinations like navy and ivory, blush and white, or black and gray. These patterns offer all the whimsy of polka dots, but with the elegance your style merits. Recent style reports for 2025 confirm that polka dots remain a classic, with smaller dots seeing a growth in interest, underscoring their timeless appeal when chosen thoughtfully. Polka dots can absolutely be enduring when they whisper instead of shout. 11. Tie-dye prints. Too carefree for classic elegance. Tie-dye certainly had its prominent period, and for many of us, it conjures recollections of youth, summer festivals, and that one swirling t-shirt we cherished in our 20s. But as our wardrobe matures, so too does our interpretation of artistic style. At 61, Eleanor still harbored a fondness for vibrant, multicolored tie-dye. So when she donned a rainbow spiral tunic for a casual luncheon, she was taken aback by the responses. "Fun top," someone commented, but their intonation felt more appropriate for addressing their teenage granddaughter. The reality is, tie-dye prints, particularly audacious ones, often signify youthful insubordination rather than refined self-assurance. The colors clash, the shapes swirl without clear direction, and the overall impression can feel excessively casual or, worse, chaotic. But if you appreciate artistic prints, do not despair. There is a sophisticated alternative that is just as expressive: ombre and watercolor designs. Ombre prints create a gentle gradation from one tone to another, lending an illusion of movement and softness. Watercolor patterns, with their blended brushstroke effect, impart a sense of artistry without being ostentatious. These options still offer creativity, but in a more subtle and elevated manner. Consider it this way: tie-dye communicates in exclamation marks, watercolor whispers in poetry. So the next time you wish to express your artistic sensibility, reach for fluid prints and soft tones. Because sophistication isn't about suppressing personality, it's about articulating it with deliberation. 12. Camouflage confusion. When edgy clashes with elegance. Let's be forthright. We've all observed camouflage infiltrate closets, from cargo jackets to printed joggers. And perhaps at some juncture, it felt fashionable, even a tad rebellious. But here is the unvarnished truth. Camouflage was conceived to blend with wilderness environments, not to elevate a woman's inherent grace. As we mature, our style evolves into a reflection of our inner tranquility and confidence. Camouflage prints, with their stark edges and somber greens, often conflict with that energy. They feel rugged, weighty, even aggressive. Not quite the message we intend for our attire to convey. Now, this does not imply you must abandon earthy textures or nature-inspired elements entirely. Instead, transition from camouflage to prints that echo nature without directly replicating it. Seek abstract leaf patterns, flowing botanical lines, or muted stone textures in hues like taupe, maroon, soft olive, and warm beige. These nature-derived motifs contribute personality, depth, and artistic flair without overwhelming your physique. Imagine a blouse with softly layered leaves in bronze and ivory, or a scarf featuring abstract waves in dusty green and stone gray. These pieces ground your look in nature, but elevate it in style. Because at this stage of life, you don't need to meld with the background. You deserve prints that bolster your elegance, not vie with it. Fashion is an individual odyssey, and after 50, it acquires even greater significance. It's no longer about pursuing trends or attempting to conform to a predetermined image. It's about commemorating who you are, selecting what mirrors your wisdom, your fortitude, and your delight. The appropriate print doesn't just flatter your form. It elevates your confidence, it honors your presence, and it allows your inner radiance to manifest externally. So allow me to ask you, have you ever worn a print that simply didn't feel right, even if it appeared attractive on the hanger? Or do you possess a favorite pattern that invariably makes you feel beautiful the instant you put it on? We would be delighted to hear from you. Share your narrative in the comments below. Because when we communicate openly, we motivate one another to cultivate confidence and grace. Your style doesn't cease, it transforms. So let it transform beautifully.